I think I'm better off
Ask
that
your
way.
parents.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, Matt's going.
Yeah, they were like, we didn't watch
What's
that shit.
chips?
Yeah, what's chips? Is there salsa with that?
That's what the other guy, this buddy's thinking.
Yeah. The only chips I know comes with salsa. You know, you ever notice when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you'll sit down, and I think this is kind of funny if you don't go to a lot of Mexican restaurants, you don't really know the etiquette. Because people will go in and they'll say, oh, there's the hostess who will sit you down, and then you're like,
The mamacita.
right. But then after the hostess seats you, then comes the bringer of the chips. But the bringer of the chips never returns. They don't ever return with salsa or more chips. The waiter or waitress.
He just brings the chips that one time.
That one time. And I always kind of look at it like, his backstory is, I am the bringer of chips, like my father and my father before.
It's like he used to have to ride on a donkey with a bag full of chips.
I come to
Back
this,
in the old country.
I come to this country with a bag of chips, over my back.
Riding
I make
an
it
ass.
in, and I want to be a bringer of chips like my father and his father before him. But maybe one day I can be a waiter of a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like, he's just.
What a serious guy.
You always have to follow it up with, I will now pour the salsa.
I will now pour the salsa.
This is free. Would you like cheese?
They're-
$5.
Right, well, and they're like, what they can't wait to say one day is they're just pining for this moment to go. Please be careful. The plate is hot, but they can't say that. All
They don't
can-
get to deliver a hot plate.
That's right. They just bring the.
And if
the-
you want
Just the
more
salsa,
chips,
that's never on a hot plate.
and when you
That's
want
right.
more
Since
chips,
I've had it.
even the chips can be warm, but that doesn't really count. You can't really announce that. Please be careful. The chips are warm.
and when you want more chips, the waiter or waitress
That's
brings
right.
them.
I
But
will
not the
never,
chip
you will
guy.
never see me again. I will disappear in smoke.
Right.
He just vanishes. He just like
The bring it.
Houdini's his ass out of there
the bringer-
after he's delivered the
I
chips.
just had a visual.
The
he pours the salsa. Boom. I bet it's
He said,
sticky.
let me say the magic word, habanero. Poof.
Habanero, yeah.
That's funny.
And he's just waiting on deck. Watching the next. People come in.
peeking through the hole in the door. I have my chips ready.
Like,
They're
pretty
warm.
soon,
Yeah, they're
the
warm.
hostess will come to me, and she will have a table that will need chips, mass quantities of chips. I will deliver, and I will be gone.
There is a table of 6. I must get 6 small bowls for each of them to have salsa, and then I will retreat. Poof, habanero,
Habanero.
and he goes away. And then,
He always leaves a trail of Tabasco sauce.
yeah, right. It's,
That's how you can find
I
him.
smell him. I don't see him.
yeah, it's
He's left his customary Tabasco drip.
The great, and you know what? My favorite guy right now is the Spanish guy in the Dos Equis commercial. I love the whole Eskimo fishing in the fishing hole, and he comes swimming out of the hole with 2 handfuls of fish, and the Eskimo guy's like, "What the hell am I doing?" And then I like my favorite one is his mom has a tattoo that says "son." I love that. That's funny.
The most interesting man.
The most interesting man in the world.
He doesn't drink beer often, but when
Well,
he
he
does,
does.
drink
He does.
beer,
he prefers
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
That was a commercial. We'll get sued by them too.
No,
Yeah.
Back to Star Wars.
Yeah, back to Star Wars.
The topic actually before we came on air was, would you fuck a Wookiee?
Well, only if this Wookiee would get a Brazilian. That's the only way.
yeah, full Brazilian.
I'll do it.
Like, could you Brazilian your entire body? Please?
Right. Well, I don't know. Then it'd be like, that'd
Then
be-
you wouldn't
well,
be a Wookiee anymore.
Well, if that's the case, would you fuck an Ewok?
Too short.
Are they like-
Too short?
That's
Dick
tough
sucking
for
level.
me because
Are they like miniature Wookiees? Or are they like kind of a small?
they were supposed to be miniature Wookiees.
Okay, here's a trivia question. Let's see what a Star Wars.
You'd be like a child molester
What's
and a
what's the name? Where is Chewbacca? What's the planet Chewbacca's from?
Come on, everybody knows that. Wrong.
No, Hoth is
Hoth, really?
It's
You said Hoth.
it's actually called Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk, that's correct. Yes, we are all geeks.
Let me mention the one planet that I can remember.
I do remember Hoth because it had one syllable in it.
Call it coal.
It reminded me
I
so much
liked
of my home
Hoth because
country.
it reminded me of Canada with
Yeah.
all the ice.
It's kind of like going to Nova Scotia on my holiday.
I bet you could skate there and it'd be totally easy because it's frozen all the time.
In our tundra, we don't have really cool AT-AT walkers. I wish we did.
In the new movies, I was really against, and I know most people are going to say, "Oh man, blah blah blah," but I didn't like the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was in the movie. It's like he did a fine job, and he's great in everything that he does. But it's like I thought the whole point of no-name people that Samuel L. is like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
you got Liam Neeson and.
That's true. You have Liam Neeson and what's the other guy? Ewan McGregor.
But still not nearly as well known as Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, I think Ewan McGregor and what's her name, Natalie Portman, wasn't as known when the first ones come out. But Ewan McGregor,
Liam Neeson was.
Well, yeah, that's
he did
true.
Trainspotting and what else? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of what's his name.
You're thinking of Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
That's probably his second movie.
Yeah, Liam Neeson had done a bunch of stuff.
He's done a shitload of movies.
Did you ever see Big Fish?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. But Liam Neeson, he gets killed off. They kill him off.
Well,
and they don't bring him back in any of the other movies.
I'll tell you something else I thought was done really kind of poorly, in my opinion, on the marketing of the first one was Darth Maul. Was he in the first one?
First one, yeah.
You know, they did a big campaign where they used Darth Maul's image all the time. You know, it would have been like when Jedi or Empire came out, that they would have just did this big campaign with Boba Fett. And it's like, you know, Boba Fett didn't have that kind of screen time.
You'll hardly see this guy. Come see
right,
this movie.
and then Darth Maul is just—he's almost like the Boba Fett of that movie.
Yeah,
you
do see him more than you saw Boba Fett. Boba Fett, you know, although Darth Maul didn't have any lines, at least there was a big fight scene between him and two Jedi.
He did have lines. He's like, "We should reveal ourselves to the Jedi."
Okay, yeah, you're right. I haven't seen them in a while because they're awful.
Boba Fett had a line also. Boba Fett was like, he had a
Boba Fett there's a drinking game every time you know, what about me means a lot, it's worth a lot to me. That's his line.
Yeah, but all his lines
when he's dying.
Then you're going to be drinking all at the same time because all his lines are in that one.
I was going to say, what a boring drinking game.
You know, when he dies,
you get to that one part, you're pounding him.
Wait for it.
But when he dies, he screams too. You got to remember that.
Yeah, well, you're probably already had a few more drinks by the time he dies. So,
but it's like you can't compare the two movies. You can't compare the two sets of movies. The last ones are way better.
I'll tell you what kind of just annoyed me about the prequels. At first, you know, I was open to the idea of the prequels. I was like, you know, this will be probably pretty cool. Although I found the first one really boring, the second one was just atrocious, and the third one was exciting. But out of all of those movies, if you watched them all six together, and you had that kind of time to do shit, but if you had the time to do it, it's like, it's too much shit going on in the first three. You know, it's like all the effects are all amped up more so than the last three. You know,
you're supposed to think the world's really gone to hell.
I guess, you know, but
it's really gone to shit.
Because it just seems like they've taken the entire.
The spaceships look plastic in these later ones.
You know, and so that, you know, I kind of felt like they should have just taken the liberty to keep it as kind of the same sort of amount of technology that was in the other three, but maybe even less. Make that look more, you know, but still use.
Let's show that they might have evolved instead of devolved.
Exactly, you know.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that it all fell apart because of the way?
Well,
they took over. The Empire takes over, and then rules under the iron fist of so there is less. I mean, didn't it also depend on what planet they were on? You know, they were on a highly citied planet.
Yeah, notice that they didn't show all the planets that George Lucas couldn't afford to build when they made the old ones. It's like, I can't afford to build Coruscant. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, and they filmed that movie on sets with nothing. They just put in computer graphics behind everything.
One thing I thought was cool, because I always wondered about in the first three, the original three, was if you notice, there was no like other species with Vader. It was just the troopers, and the only time they had ever referenced that at all was in
in the Emperor's
the
racist.
Third one.
No, the
second one and the third one.
Yeah,
stormtroopers.
Well, but I'm saying the bounty hunters. You know, you had
that's
Bob.
the only time you ever see them dealing with aliens,
right? And the reason being because they do state that, and like when he goes and kills all the sand people for killing his mom, and that's why he says he'll never deal with. He never trust aliens or any other kind of life form. So I thought they were really true to that idea, and I thought that was kind of cool that they actually did.
They made Jango Fett hit his head.
Well, they made Jango Fett all the stormtroopers too.
Right. And he hit his
clone.
head to show that he was clumsy because in the fourth Star Wars movie
that you love to point out,
he hits his head. I'm confused.
If anybody has any nerd, Star Wars related questions, email us at podvomit@gmail.com.
If any of our facts aren't correct,
if we're wrong or
I guarantee you we are fucking wrong.
Oh, I guarantee you we'll get a bunch of fucking email telling us how.
Blake's gonna be calling just as soon as this airs.
Yeah, he'll be calling and then asking us to do a Batman show. So hold on.
Oh, Batman show would be good.
We'll have to. They don't have to have some pictures from his Batman room.
Yeah, his Batman room is getting there, but he does have the Shakespeare bust. That you open.
Oh yeah, it's like you put it's got like a button.
When he turns it, does it lead to his bat cave?
No, it just turns on the TV.
Yeah, you open it up and there's a button, and when you hit it, it turns the power on. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
from a guy's point of view.
Going back to Star Wars, I also heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I also heard that Lucas is planning on doing a Star Wars television program.
Yeah.
No.
I felt one coming there.
No, that he's going to do a Star Wars program, and it's going to be kind of based on what like the Cartoon Network animation was, but they're going to kind of do it in the ways like Star Trek did with Next Generation, and kind of not necessarily deal with Luke or Chewie. I mean, they're going to try to move it into a realm that.
I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Lucas, don't do it. If you want to waste $10 million, my
do
address
Cartoon
is...
Network?
Do what?
Didn't they already do that on Cartoon Network?
No, but they're talking about doing it as a live action.
Like a Next Generation type thing.
An offshoot. Like Star Trek. Star Trek did with Next Generation and Babylon 5 or 9 or whatever. And I'm sure you're going to...
Which I thought the Star Trek remake was pretty good.
Oh, I agree.
The new one.
Yeah,
yes, it was terrific.
Yeah,
it was terrific.
And I know we'll get email telling us that it was generations this or we didn't.
No, this is the best Star Trek.
The guy who played Kirk's father is Thor in the Thor movie.
The Thor movie was terrible, by the way.
I liked it simply because it was exactly what I wanted. Just a big guy pounding and beating the crap out of everybody.
He likes a big guy pounding.
He likes big guys and pounding. Yeah. So that goes with the wrestling thing too, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, you never watched wrestling, never in your life. When you were 10 years old, did you ever watch wrestling?
I have viewed it before, yes.
Okay. So
I viewed upon it.
What was your motive back then for watching wrestling?
It was a passing channel, and I'm sure I stopped and watched it. I don't know. Why did you stop and watch an episode of Days of Our Lives one day? Because I know you did.
I love Days of Our Lives.
Why?
It was for one reason and one reason only.
The drama.
No, there was a girl on it. There's a girl on it named Hope. I want you to, not the original Hope, but the second Hope. Look it up, and you'll.
Joe cried.
Please
like a
quit
bitch
whispering over there.
program.
I can hear you.
Yeah, turn your mic off.
So Hope from Days of Our Lives, which is not.
She was
Star Wars
amazing.
related,
Did you ever see Anger Management?
Yes.
The two lesbian girls.
Okay.
The brown-headed girl.
Right on.
That's her. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who she is. Yeah.
She's not in anything you can find. I mean, I know she did some like B-rated porn genre. It wasn't exactly
softcore.
Yeah, for something like that. But other than that, it was that's it. She's beautiful.
I saw a Scooby-Doo porno movie the other day where all the characters
is wonderful.
Except the dog wasn't in it, which I was glad about that.
Yeah, they were.
But they were.
They're trying to make it for
They all because I didn't want to see them Scrappy Doo, but that would have been another movie.
They're like cutting out that audience,
right? But I was impressed with their casting. I was like,
the casting. Yeah, the casting was
pretty good, man. I think more people should do that. They should just make porno movies of like things you already know about, like have the Happy Days porno,
the Flintstones,
and the
bam, 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 bam,
no, there is a Flintstones one. I've already seen that.
So you can say, I always wanted to fuck that cartoon character.
You don't want to. You never wanted to have
this
sex
way
with
I can make it
Josie and the
like
Pussycats, or
That's not. I'm guaranteeing that one's been done.
Yeah, I felt the dialogue was very stimulating in that one.
Yeah.
You mean they put dialogue in those movies?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess you don't have to just watch them on mute.
No, you know, it's like French porn or